Hello everybody and welcome back to the funniest tweets. Today we are going to be reflecting on the Japanese Grand Prix through your amazing submissions on Twitter or X. I'm not going to complain about the fact I'm a little bit tired because you non-Europeans have to deal with this all the time. So my respect goes out to you because I don't know how the hell I would have done this when I was younger especially, but you guys are the goats. So well done for that. Your submissions were absolutely amazing. I was laughing my head off getting these together. Perez is a big segment, as you probably imagine. So let's dive into them right now. Perez's adventure. So as you can imagine, Sergio Perez is a large segment of this show because, oh my goodness me, there was a strange moment, wasn't there, where he was out there crashing into a few cars. He then retired, went back out, retired again. Lots of stuff going on. So let's start with @opinionated SF19. Sergio Perez retiring from the Japanese Grand Prix after causing no chaos at all. Perez had obviously a bad qualifying for his standards and being in a Red Bull P5, not great. And then getting involved in all kinds of carnage, including Kevin Magnussen, of course, smashing him into the hairpin. Poor bloke. K-Mag really, was on the receiving end of another Sergio Perez dive bomb. Let's not forget, Singapore. Albon was on the receiving end of a Sergio Perez dive bomb. I'd like to know, actually, how many penalty points he's got currently, because he's probably racking them up. @Cell_Stone, the driver's seeing Perez back on track. It felt a little bit illegal, didn't it? But it wasn't. Like, you've had it in the 90s where drivers have come back after retiring by driving into the pits because the car's too damaged, fixing the car, then going back out there. And many years ago it was a race of attrition. A lot of cars would retire, and sometimes going back out on track would get you points if you could then get more laps than the cars that have retired ahead of you. So it wasn't illegal as much as it felt like it, and it was weird to see Perez go back out there to get rid of a penalty that had been given. It's strange, but it made sense, kind of. @Crystal Warner, Sergio Perez, when there are still undamaged cars on track, job's not finished. Oh, God. I mean, it's just a laugh at this point. It's not slander, but Perez was a big talking point because, of course, Max Verstappen is clear, having a great time. There was, of course, I actually thought the race was decent. We ignore Max. We've done that for a lot this season in terms of trying to focus on other bits of entertainment. You had the Mercedes fighting. You had an interesting fight for P2 at some points until Lando obviously got through. It was a decent race, I thought. It wasn't a banger, but it was solid. Let me know what you thought out of 10. Let me know out of 10 what you would give the Japanese Grand Prix. This video is sponsored by Vessi, and they're on a mission to make getting outside and experiencing the magic of water easier and more joyful with these beautiful shoes. Isn't that right, Tommy?
Sure is. These are genuinely the most comfy shoes I've ever worn in my life. They are like clouds.
So Vessi shoes keeps water out and feet breathing with their Dymatex technology. They're 100% waterproof as well, which allows us to basically go outside and enjoy puddles. Rather than skirting around them, I can just jump in and not worry about getting some wet socks.
What more do you want in life? I just think I'm just going to wear them at home as well because they're so comfortable.
Honestly, I put them on and I was like, do I even take them off now? Because usually I'm just barefoot, just chilling around the house. I put them on and I was like, am I more comfortable wearing these than not wearing anything?
I felt the same.
So you can check out Vessi Styles at vessi.com/MattP1Tommy. And if you fancy copying some of these for yourself, you can get 15% off using our code MattP1Tommy. Trust me, you will not regret slipping these on. It is a glorious experience.
I'm going to go buy some more.
Adam Chapman 2398, the Red Bull celebration party be like. Look, Perez, as much as he's not had the greatest of second halves of the season, he has got a couple of wins under his belt. He's got 228, I think, points or something around there. Yes, Max has nearly double his points, but he has done his side of the deal, kind of, a little bit. It's not been the best, but Red Bull are Constructors' champions and they're going to be Drivers' champions as well. Sebastian Panzar, Red Bull retire the car. that edit is quite something. That is look, not too bad at all. But the Uno reverse card meme is now a very much part of the meme culture these days. And Perez, I don't think he probably wanted to go out there, if I'm being completely honest with you. Like, he's retired, it's been a bit embarrassing, obviously having that collision. He probably just wants to go home at that point, but instead he's sent back out there because if he didn't serve that penalty that he was given, it could have then been converted into a grid drop for the next race. So it made sense to go back out there. Monachia. Perez, after retiring for the first time, I got one more in me. Now, how many of you, right, if you'd have been told going into this race, Red Bull are going to have a double DNF, how many of you would have been quite excited for the prospect of a decent race ahead of us? Red Bull had a double DNF, and Max Verstappen still won. Only in 2023, with this level of dominance, could we have a Red Bull double DNF and Max still win by 20 seconds? How? At the Ed Riley. Corporate needs to find the difference. It was not great from Perez, if I'm being completely honest with you. It was desperation, wasn't it, on Magnussen to that hairpin. It wasn't on. Just like Albon and Singapore, it just wasn't on. You're in a Red Bull. It's very quick. Just wait for a better opportunity. It showed many times throughout this race with other drivers on slightly better tyres or a better car being able to get like a good run out of the hairpin. We saw that many times. Alonso losing a few positions, then getting one back a little bit later on when he was on the fresher tyres, out of that hairpin, looked awesome. They went side by side, then into spoon curve, job done. Perez was, he just looked slightly out of control, didn't he, into that hairpin, because he nearly crashed into him, I think, the lap before. And then he managed it. At Prime Stappen 33, Red Bull gives you wings. The meme quality this week has been top notch. So fair play to you for allowing this series to be as entertaining as it is. Well done, Prime Stappen 33 as well. At Camden Wilson, the car seeing Perez back on track. Thought you were dead. My death was greatly exaggerated. He's gone from the tyre whisperer to literally just coming back to life from the garage. Fair play, Perez. At J. Ramos Lynn, Perez watching Verstappen get out of the pits in the lead while sitting in the car inside his garage. Now, I found there was a savage clip, right? Verstappen pitting. The cameraman watches him go away, then rotates immediately 180 to see Perez sat in his garage. I'm sure it wasn't meant to be savage, but it came across that way. Nuttawat_Janto, Perez is back to the track. Get that thing off the road. Oh, goodness me. I think we've got one more. We've got one more in us. Maybe two, actually. Adam Chapman 2398. Look, that's actually a really clever meme, but it didn't need to be a Trojan horse, okay? Perez was legal to go and do what he did, right? He could absolutely serve his penalty in the race. It wasn't a problem. It's not like when a car comes into the pits and they retire, that they then hand in a piece of paper that goes, excuse me, FIA, we are now retiring and out of the race. It's not the case. If they stop on track and can't get back to the pits with it like on their own steam, then they have DNF'd and they cannot move the car from there. But if they can move the car and bring it back to the pits, it's all good. Jones RF873, not really what non-Red Bull fans wanted. Yeah, that kind of sums up the whole double DNF situation that we had. And Max Verstappen still doing Max Verstappen things. Honourable mentions. Okay, we're now away from Sergio Perez, but it was a rather hilarious segment and something that created a lot of discussion and meme creation. C. Antonison, not sure if Logan Sargent or actually Latifi in disguise. Logan is, he's becoming the Go-Tifi in a lot of ways. He was involved in a crash as well, wasn't he? Absolutely yeeting Bottas. Crashed in qualifying as well. You do wonder, of course, it looked like Logan was going to keep his seat for next year. Will Williams start to question that? They obviously haven't announced anything. Lawson, another great race, beats Tsunoda. Didn't score any points, very close. 11th, shock. AlphaTauri scoring or finishing 11th is just the meme of their season this year. But, Logan. He's in his own head. It's a mental game. Top level sport. He needs to sort it out quick. At Piastrification, foreshadowing for his race today. Yeah, Bottas had an eventful one as well, didn't he? Had to change his front wing, as did Zhou Guanyu at the start of the race as well. Then, of course, going off in the gravel. He then got obviously yeeted as well. Bottas, I mean, one weekend he'll score like a point and we'll be like, whoa, Bottas is back. And then he'll have like a horrendous weekend like this picture shown. And of course, Piastrification, I have to say, Oscar Piastri, I know we'll talk about it in the podcast and in driver ratings, but I got to just shout out Oscar Piastri for his first ever podium. Wasn't on Norris's level on Sunday. Feel like he struggles a little bit with the tyre wear, but Oscar on the podium, we love to see it. At full tempo, Lando in the cooldown room watching Checo dive bomb into the side of Magnussen. I love the cooldown room. I know I say it so many times, but I love it, especially when it's like Max and Lando and those kind of drivers that will like watch the highlights and make noises like oof, ooh, ooh. And they're literally watching it along with you. And I don't know, it's the closest we're ever going to get to watching drivers watch along to a race, because it's such a unique experience to see their reactions to things happening. And yeah, Lando saying interesting after he saw Checo's dive bomb. You just couldn't write it. At Infield Insight, Max watching his mirrors after the lights went out. Oh, it was so close, wasn't it? It was so close. You thought at the start, Oscar, he's up the inside, he's got it. But then sort of the second phase of his start was a little bit slower than Max. Then Lando out of nowhere, you're thinking, is he going to go round the outside? Is this going to be a McLaren leading? Do we have a race on our hands? No, we didn't. And to be honest, even if Lando had taken the lead, I'm not sure he would have been able to do too much about Max. I think he might have been able to keep Max behind for a little while. But DRS, that Red Bull seemed to have another level. I'm sure Max was probably just driving around in fourth gear, to be honest, this weekend. But still, it was close. At Gwen Stefana, Russell didn't have a chance. Oh, I love that. That battle at the end. You had Russell, then you had Hamilton, then you had Sainz. Not sure why Ferrari didn't pit earlier for Sainz. I don't know why they went for the faster tyres at the end rather than just covering off Hamilton, because there definitely was an opportunity for him to pit the next lap after Leclerc and come out ahead of Hamilton. But Ferrari went different. Slightly strange, but either way, then Russell and Hamilton swapped positions, which was for the best. As much as a lot of people were questioning it, it made sense because Russell was really struggling. Hamilton was then coming under pressure from Sainz. So swapping the cars then gave Hamilton a bit of a buffer, but then Russell just got swallowed up, didn't he? But anyway, the meme. You dare use my own spells against me, Mercedes. Sainz obviously noticing that Hamilton was, I think, 1.5 seconds clear of Russell, then slowed down to try and give Russell DRS. Russell still got mugged anyway, so it didn't work out. Sainz is the man you want in that position for that kind of strategy. At L_Rushy, me before the race started, me after Oscar got P3. Oh yes, I did actually have a meme that would then celebrate Oscar Piastri getting a podium. He's so chill, isn't he? He's such a chill guy. Gets his first ever podium. Yeah, thanks guys. Really appreciate it. Whatever. Like he's just got ice in his veins. He's not one to start screaming down the microphone and things like that. Like I would probably be in that position. He's just so chill. But that's what will help him probably in the big moments where he's not as phased as other people. At Life in the Tropic, this has been quite eventful. What else will happen? I think that was a lot, wasn't it? Williams double DNF, Bottas retirement, Perez hitting Hamilton. Yeah, of course as well. Didn't even mention that part. Safety car, Sargent hitting Bottas. Of course, yeah. God, it was so early that I didn't even clock. Obviously, Perez had that contact with Hamilton. Then Perez had the front wing damage, which caused him to pit the first time. So much went on in Perez's race. Just him. Just him. That yeah. It's hopefully you forgive me, because then Perez hit Perez hit Magnussen. Safety car. Merckx fighting. Perez then DNF. Then coming back to life. Sargent hitting Bottas. Stroll retirement. Lots of things went on in the midfield. Enjoyed the race. Okay, it's now my favourite time of any race weekend. Tommy's Tasty Tweet, sponsored by EA and F123. Tommy, who has won an amazing copy of Formula 1 23.
The winner is Agent 7X200. And it had to be one about Perez, didn't it? It's this brilliant twinkle.
The majority
twinkle
of the episode
little
has
star.
been about Perez, to be honest with you. But, it was the biggest meme-worthy event by quite some margin.
It sure was. And this one just tickled me.
Go on, read the
with
rhyme. Go on, do
Twinkle,
it.
twinkle, little star, I will hit you with my car.
Beautiful.
So good.
Beautiful stuff. So well done. You have won an amazing copy of F1 23. And thank you, Tommy, for being as complexious as always. That's not a word.
Try my best.
Vibrant. Oh, look at that skin. Right, that is it. Thank you so much for tuning in to the funniest tweets to the Japanese Grand Prix. I've survived. A little bit tired. Still got the podcast to record in a little bit. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hashtag P1 if you want to get involved in a couple of weeks' time for the Qatar Grand Prix. Thank you to EA for sponsoring Tommy's Tasty Tweet as always, and we'll see you very soon in a couple of weeks. But we've got lots more content in that window, so be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you very soon. Bye! Oh, no. Oh, one day I'm literally going to yeet this green screen into non-existence.